everybody, and welcome to a very special episode of Toy Ventures. My name is Brian, and I have a special guest with me, and that is Paul, Dr. Mego Clarke from Mego.
Yes.
How are you doing, Paul?
I'm doing great.
Yeah? Yeah. I noticed there's a picture of Iron Man behind you. Is that
It's actually cooler than that. It's, let's see if we can get it.
That is cool. Is it lenticular? Wow.
Yes, thank you, yes. It was actually a gift from my daughter.
Wow.
But I just like keeping it in the office.
Yeah, absolutely.
Whenever we have conversations about what can we do differently. I'm like,
yeah.
That?
Yeah.
It's also very cool for the Marvel calls to have that.
Yeah, I guess you're in one of those jobs where your cubicle could be full of superhero stuff.
Yes, but I keep all the things that I can't show in front of me.
Right. That makes sense. Yeah. Because I'm sure right now there are people trying to zoom in on those those schedules behind you, and
That's just the old. That's the old releases.
Oh, okay.
We keep them up just so we remember what came out when.
Right. Yeah. Actually, that's pretty helpful. I lose track of stuff. I can't imagine you guys.
We have made over 300 figures.
Yeah.
Since 2017.
Yeah. I forget what somebody posted, like, oh, I got the Clarke Griswold, and I was like, I didn't know it came out.
Yes.
It makes sense it came out.
Yep.
Yeah. And it's like
I wanted to do Cousin Eddie.
Oh, yeah.
And in his bathrobe, emptying the shit. And I was told flat out that Randy Quaid's likeness is not part of the license.
Yeah.
Like, fine, I'll just make him a Cousin Eddie that doesn't look like Randy Quaid. And they're like, no.
Oh, really, eh?
Not allowed to do that either.
Wow. Yeah, I seem to recall there was a Christmas ornament, but it was not a likeness of Randy Quaid. Yeah, that makes sense. I broke that, sadly. What we're here to do, though, is talk about a very special project that you brought to me that I'm very grateful for, and how you found it, and that was Mego's plans for 1983.
Yes.
So
what happened was Marty's grandson, David, was cleaning up stuff in the basement, of their palatial estate. And he said, hey, is this, I lifted a bunch of stuff over there. Tell me if it's garbage or we should keep it. And I opened up this binder, and it was a children's clothing supplier catalog. And I almost said, oh, that's garbage. Whatever this is, it's a very old garbage. And then I looked past that and started to flip through pages and realized it was Mego's 1983 prototype plans,
playbook.
What they were going to make in 83.
Yeah. And I've spoken, because very fortunately, a lot of that artwork is signed, and it's signed by Bill Barron, who was Mego's VP of R&D in 1983 or 82. I would assume this started in 82.
Oh, yeah. If you showed it at Toy Fair 83, you would have been working on it in 82.
Yeah, and this is a very tertiary book in terms of it is not a lot of prototypes, but it is it's a roadmap to what they wanted to do for 83. And this is not only going to be a series in Toy Ventures magazine, but it'll also be an ongoing video series I do, and also I'll probably, it'll all end up on the Mego Museum eventually as well. But I'm trying to. There's a lot of meat on this bone. And when I was chatting with, luckily I know Bill Barron, and he is still as lucid as they come. He is he's a very smart guy, and he barely remembers this. But as we started talking, more and more started to come out, and I've got oodles of information to process. But I started with issue 13 with the thing everybody wanted to know, which was the world's greatest superheroes.
Yeah.
And Mego had, and I don't want to delve too much, but they had some very interesting plans for the brand. It was a complete rehaul.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I appreciate your not mentioning this, but one of the things I will feed out there, and this is probably one of the more interesting Mego nerd things, their Marvel Superheroes line for 1983 did not include the Hulk.
Right.
Yeah, probably because the show was canceled.
Yes.
And Hulk merchandise was everywhere.
Filling Toys R Us.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. You know what's funny is, like, I've been collecting Megos since I was a teenager. And, you walk by Mego Hulks to this day, and I'm like, but they're tougher now than,
Because a lot of what was overproduced in Toys R Us and sat on those pegs actually got beat up a lot.
Yeah.
So, in all the years of them going discount and then, close out, and it's the figures themselves got so beat up that it's not.
But this would have been, I think that's the logic behind the world's greatest superheroes line. And we'll get into it in the issue. Was they were looking to just straight up differentiate from anything they'd done before and go in a new direction. And you've gone through the catalog, like the book itself. There's a lot of innovative concepts for the 1980s that actually other companies did and had success with. So I'm really looking forward to getting into things like the transmutants, the microids, all these interesting concepts that you get a little bit of a taste of what they were going for, and then other things they really are elaborate. Like the Eagle Force plans are breathtaking. How much they were going to, like, I can't imagine how much tooling they were going to use for some of the vehicles and such.
But due to the size of Eagle Force,
right,
and we had, by that point, you had 3 movies of Star Wars, and G.I. Joe. I believe G.I. Joe was out by then, the real American hero.
Yeah, G.I. Joe came out the same year as Eagle Force. Everyone thinks it's a copy, and they're sort of right.
I think it was parallel development.
Well, actually, it's parallel development. What it was from what Marty's been quoted as saying is he heard Hasbro was going to bring G.I. Joe back.
Right, but that could mean a lot of things.
Oh yeah, no. So he just developed his own army toy line and it's completely on his terms. It was his vision, his love of Britain's soldiers and that sort of thing. So yeah, it's not a ripoff in the fact that American pride was at an all-time high. Right. And it was time to bring back G.I. Joe, and so he was just on the zeitgeist, but they were released the same year.
It was morning in America.
Yeah, and I mean in a big way too. I mean a lot of people don't, Mego they think the heyday was the 70s, but even in '82 there was a huge showbiz factor to Eagle Force launching. They had that Darren McGavern and Eagle Force Commandos.
And who's the woman that was on there?
Kathy Lee Crosby.
Yeah. Kathy Lee Crosby. The would-be Wonder Woman.
I think she was on. She was Mego's celebrity spokesperson for Domino Rally.
Oh, okay.
I think she was even on the Domino Rally boxes with That's Incredible, which was actually not a bad idea.
That show had that. We were all watching that.
Oh, I love that show. I even liked its animal spinoff.
Yeah.
Was it Those Amazing Animals?
Probably. I don't know.
Yeah.
At that time, I was dating.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, I had some years to go, but yeah, I definitely have blank spots in my pop culture. So what I wanted to do now was reveal the cover to issue 13. which is now going up for pre-order. And this comes from the binder, the Mego Plans for the World's Greatest Superheroes. It is a Continuity Studios piece. So we're not, those are generally collaborative, but it's very likely that Adams and Dick Gorgiano had some input on this.
It's their wheelhouse.
Yeah. But I mean, I've heard lots of things about their style over there. Was a lot of people had their hands in some of the packaging artwork and that sort of thing.
Look at comic strips. You usually have one artist doing the foreground and somebody else does the backgrounds.
Yeah. So what shocked me though was, and I'll reveal our cover now. No one had seen this artwork before.
I haven't shown anybody.
No, what I mean is, I showed it to Chris Franklin, who is an amazing comic book historian. He's the guy who's identified so many of the Mego packaging influence that
awesome.
that's helped you.
Yes,
with Warner Brothers and Marvel.
And Marvel.
But he said, I've never seen this before. So I don't know what product this was for, if it was for a bat cave they were going to create, but it's very much in the same vernacular as the Wayne Foundation art.
Yes.
So it's really quite beautiful. And to get it professionally colored, there was only one name that sprung to mind, and that was Mego Museum founder Robyn Adams, who absolutely nailed this. And I especially love the Batman box pink she added to the cover. So this is chapter 1 of Mego 1983, and we're going to talk about Mego's superhero plans. And honestly, I'll tease a little bit here, but it's something you've never seen before, and I think it would have been a massive hit. What's your feelings on it?
I don't know. I think so, but it wasn't. It was a different generation.
That's true. Yeah.
I don't know how Eagle Force did in sales. I know it did well, but I don't know how much legs it would have had in a 3 3/4 inch universe.
That's true.
The Eagle Force was 2-inch.
Right. Well, the Eagle Force, it's hard to tell because Mego went through so much trouble during 1982 that I think it, especially some of the bad press they got during that time, I think as I recall, it killed buyer confidence at the wholesale level.
I mean, Marty has said that Eagle Force was a huge hit.
Yeah.
And it could have been. I have no idea how it actually shook out. It could have been a huge hit on Toy Fair, in initial orders placed. And he was actually reorders because he was planning 83 to expand on the Eagle Force line. So
massively.
I assume that he was going back, he was confident in the sales, but doesn't pull me in.
Yeah,
that's just I mean.
Oh, absolutely, and everyone will be able to see for themselves in the issue, and then the resulting videos. And I can't wait for this discourse. And I do recall the one thing Marty said in a Tomart interview about Eagle Force was, first week at Target, they sold 30,000 units at retail.
Yeah,
and that really is good news for a
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, thanks very much, Paul. You got any hints you want to give anybody?
I don't get to say. Until I'm told. Because the worst thing I could do is say, yeah, we're doing this, and then it doesn't happen.
And you know what? I get that.
Things get delayed.
Yeah, delayed or canceled.
I mean, I can tell you guys that the Atlas figures did ship out of the factory. Mm-hmm. They did arrive at Walmart's warehouse, so they should be shipping out.
Yeah.
I know everybody was acting like my order got canceled. I was like, I don't know what, but
They exist.
yeah, they exist. We made them. We did get them out the door. So Walmart does not want to keep them. They're not looking to build to just look at them. They will ship. If you have an order, they'll ship it out.
Build a fort with them. Yeah.
Yes, they're not building a fort.
Yeah, I don't understand what the disconnect is, but obviously neither do you. So.
I have to always laugh at the comments. They're like, well, Mego should do this. I'm like, yes. Mego should go up to that giant retailer and say, hey, down here. Yeah, you better do what we say.
Tugging at the pants cuff.
Yes.
Excuse me, mister.
Yeah. Hey. And you know what? I am always amazed at how much deference people do give to Mego. I'm like, listen, there's a lot of toy companies out there. There's a lot of companies, period, tugging Walmart,
I can tell you right now, like I can go to a toy show and I'll see a figure and go, oh, that must be new. And it's 12 years old. And I never heard of that. I never heard of the company. And you're just like, wow, there's so much for the adult collector right now.
Yes,
it's almost unending.
Too much. And we're all kind of getting overwhelmed.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many things that you never thought would actually ever be made into an action figure.
Yeah, and some things that probably shouldn't have been. Anyway, I'm going to exit with a little bit of a montage about issue 13. It's available for pre-order right now, and we'll be doing subscriptions as well. Thank you for watching, and Paul, as always, thank you for joining me, and also thank you for this opportunity. This has been...
This is preserving history.
This is something I never thought I'd get to do because I didn't know it existed. But I'm very grateful for the opportunity, and I hope I did it justice.
Yep.
All right. Take care. Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Talk to you soon.